Hello there once again. This is Philip Clark from Just Say Something, and welcome back to our weekly podcast. So, we have a special conversation that we're going to have today. You know, ever since I've been at Just Say Something, it's always been tobacco, alcohol, or other drugs. And so, most people don't consider tobacco being the drug, but it's the nicotine within the tobacco that is the addictive piece, and then all the other thousands of chemicals are what will cause cancer. But so today we're talking with we have back Mr. Stacey Ashmore, and welcome back, Stacey.
Glad to be back, Mr. Clark.
And so last time we were here, we were talking about impact. This time, let's talk about our tobacco programs in schools, in the community. And so you've been with Just Say Something for what, 20 years?
20 years.
Okay. And were we going into schools 20 years ago?
You was going into schools 20 years ago, and I believe you was going into schools when you first started up because it's a prevention program, drug awareness, and so we was trying to get in touch, with the kids, and so we was and
So I started here in 92, and I was immediately thrown into schools. Um, we were the first organization to do counter tools,
yes,
which is a curriculum for fifth and sixth grade students.
yes.
You look at why people smoke, you look at advertising, you look at the cost, and all those things that the kids can more or less identify with. And so we've been doing tobacco for a mighty long time.
40 years.
At least, at least. So tell us about some of the tobacco programming that you're doing now. What grades are you in front of? Or are you presenting to more than others?
We are in front of probably right now a lot of the middle schools, but we also into high schools where we are trying to do parenting educational classes with the parents about the e-cigarettes and the jewels that we are having some serious problems with throughout this country with our middle schools and high school students.
Okay. And if a student is part of one of your programs, what is it, 2 hours? Is it all day? Is it just a class time? How long is that?
For presentations, when our schools and the schools invite us to come in, it's usually an hour-long program. But if they have an ISS program or they have several kids that they're caught smoking or juuling in school, they usually can let us come in. We had a program at Wake Hampton High School for 4 hours.
Okay. And so during this time frame, what do you cover?
Well, we cover from A to Z when it comes to tobacco and e-cigarettes, and we also tell some stories. With that, we talk about the physical and the mental health that the damage is going to cause. That will be with that child. We also talk about the health. We talk about how it's going to affect their body, their lungs, their kidneys, their brain, their skin, their hair. We go from A to Z with our topics.
Okay. What's the one thing when you're doing these presentations that kids have the strongest reaction to?
When they find out there's over 4,000 chemicals that's in the cigarettes, and how many people die that could be prevented every year. And that's like 400,000, and those number has inclined up to about 500,000 now.
So roughly in the world, we lose about the population of Greenville County every year due to tobacco.
About 1.2 million around the world.
Okay. All right. So if a school wanted to find out more about having us come in and do a program, how would they do that?
They would just call us here at Just Say Something or go to our website, and they will go to program. And from program, they will go find the program where it say program request, stroll down to the bottom where it will say request form, fill that form out, and submit it back to us. And if they haven't heard back from us in about 48 hours, they should call the office to see why not.
Okay. All right. So typically when we go out to do a program or do a community event and we're talking about tobacco,
Yes.
we have something that's typically on the table that really, really fascinates kids. And sometimes it makes parents go, yuck. What are those that am I talking about?
We have our lungs, which they are naturally pig lungs. They are healthy lungs, and there's a bad lung that's our smokeless lung. We can pump those lungs up to see how healthy lungs works and operate compared to a lung that's been smoking a pack of cigarettes for 7 years, and how it just barely inflates as we pump air into it. And also, we have Mr. Growth Mouth, where it shows the damage what nicotine could do to your teeth and to your mouth over years. And also, we have tar. And on the table, that's one of the chemicals that change the colors of our lung, um, from that pretty pink to that dark black tobacco like lung. And also, we have some smokeless tobacco that's on the table because a lot of people don't think about smokeless tobacco causing cancer.
Okay. All right. So as we bring this particular episode to a close, is there a particular story that comes to mind for you that you've been out doing a program, then after that program, a child or a kid or maybe even an adult comes up to you and says, "Oh man, Mr. Stacey, I wish I had known," or something along that line you can share?
Yes, well, one of the stories I always share is my father was a chain smoker. Um, he started out at 12 years old, his first cigarettes, and then it increased it when he went into the military. He was saying that he got the military, the government gave them free cigarettes and Coca Cola. And I tell the kids, I say, you see Mr. Grossmile? I say, this right here, mm, I wish my father did have teeth like this. It was 1,000 times worse. It took 20 years off of his life. He died at the age of 62. Um, and also, it damaged that, well, from doctors saying the secondhand smoke also damaged my mother' heart, where she had heart trouble for like 20 years. At the age of 84, she passed away because of heart disease. And I tell them, hey, I say, really, I love both of my parents. I love my dad. And by the time I was really just getting to know who he were, he passed of lung cancer
Mm-hmm.
and brain tumors. And this is something that could have been prevented if he would have never picked up a cigarette. And that's why I stress to parents when I go out and talk with them to say, back then, we did not know the damage cigarettes will cause. We did not know it was going to cost the life of 400,000 people every year. But now we know the damage what these e-cigarettes and jewels can do. That's why it's so important that you talk with your children and we go out and continue to do the education out in the schools. I don't care if it's elementary to high school, to let these kids know that they are valuable, they are our future, and they deserve to live a strong, healthy, long life.
Okay. All right. Thanks, Stacey. I think that's a great note to end this conversation on. Again, if you would like to have a tobacco or vaping education prevention program, you can always call us at area code 864-467-4099, or you can go to our website, just say somethingsc.org, go into programs and request a program. Once you fill that out, we'll be back in touch. All right, Stacey, thanks again for
Thank you, Mr.
joining us
Clark.
today.
Thank you, Mr.
And
Clark.
until next time.
Yes, sir. Thank you.